I wish to state that I accept to chair the function, and it is my hope that you all give me the necessary support and your indulgence to steer this function to a successful end. Thank you very much.
Sister Mina, one of our former vice chairpersons, I salute you for you being here. Media and all other protocols duly observed. I bring you greetings from the President of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. She had wanted to be here with us, but some international engagement has made it impossible for her to be with us. Currently, she's in Geneva and working on our behalf. Mr. Chairman, International Nurses Day is globally celebrated on every 12th day of May. Last month, 12th of May, JRMA National launched the day in Accra, which then paved the way for JRMA administrative regions to also observe the day like we are having today. Mr. Chairman, today we are launching the Central Regional International Nurses Day under the theme, Immigration of Nurses and Midwives, a Threat to Ghana's Health System. Mr. Chairman, it will interest you to know that from here, some of my people are not going back to their districts. They are heading straight to the Kotoka International Airport. They have their luggage in some cars, and I've seen it. So don't be surprised. From here, they are leaving. The impact of brain drain on our health system is obvious, owing to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. In as much as pull and push factors exist more than ever before, we need to drum home the impact of what is happening for policymakers to understand where we are heading. The solution is not and will not be found in suspension of the sale of clearance forms. Ms. Sambo Hobium. The solution is not and will not be found in suspension of sale of clearance forms. Yes, we have heard that by next week they will lift the embargo and then the forms will be sold. But we cannot tell whether that is true or not. But that's not the solution. Even with the embargo, my people have gone more than ever before when they were selling the forms. They can sell it at 20 million, 30 million, we'll buy. Am I speaking your language? But I will be here so that you can bring money and I'll build for you. Improving the working conditions of nurses and midwives, workplace safety, logistics to work with, among others. These are the things that employers should focus on. These are the things that are driving people. If I'm a nurse in the family and I'm unable to take care of my immediate people, where the opportunities are, by all means, they will pull me and I will go. These are the pull factors. Mr. Chairman, ICN's Chief Executive, Howard Carton, says that his understanding is that the situation is currently out of control. It's simply out of control. He continued that we have intense recruitment taking place, mainly driven by 6 or 7 high-income countries. Sikani Frefro, won't you go? But don't worry, Chairman will be here for you. But with recruitment from countries which are some of the weakest, but they have the human resource. And these high-income countries, they are pushing these nurses and midwives to their end. They are most vulnerable. Mr. Chairman, I know my work is just to welcome the audience, but let me add my voice more. I will soon say the welcome. Mr. Chairman, India and the Philippines account for the lion's share of recruits from the period under review, but a fifth came from a red-listed country or countries where the NHS is banned from actively poaching nurses. And these countries are Nigeria, Ghana, Nepal, and Pakistan. Nigeria, Ghana. Even with the red list, we are going, I tell you. The data from the UK's Nursing and Midwifery Council over the period before Britain struck a special deal with Nepal to allow the NHIS to recruit nurses from the country. Mr. Chairman, Ghana is one of the worst hit, with hospitals warning that their workforce had been slashed as staff rushed to fill NHS posts they found on social media. Statistics from NHS England, which have 112,000 vacancies, suggest that approximately 2/3 of the increase in staff hired since 2019 were trained abroad, not even in the UK. Latest NHS England data shows that the service is recruiting more nurses abroad than ever before, with 44,000 joining the organization since 2019, compared to the 22,000 UK trained attendants. Most recruits were from India, Philippines, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, and our own Ghana. The WHO 2-year HRH project aims to support government at national and sub-national levels, as well as regulatory bodies, professional associations, and other stakeholders to develop transformative strategies for scaling up the quantity and quality of health workers, including competency-based curricular development and reviews. Mr. Chairman, I can confidently tell you that the threat to our health system is very real. Nurses and midwives want better lives, better working conditions, and they will spare no effort to reach those goals. We need to act as policy makers. On that note, Mr. Chairman, I wish to welcome everyone here to the regional launch of International Nurses Day. Thank you so much, and may God bless us all.
As a matter of fact, I deem it a great honor to be given the opportunity to deliver the keynote address on the occasion of the launch of the Central Regional Nurses Week celebration. I wish to begin by appreciating the chairman and the executives of the GRNMA in the Central Region for their leadership, ingenuity, and support of the welfare needs of nurses and midwives in the region. I would also like to congratulate all nurses in the region for their contribution to the healthcare system and their selfless service to Ghana. Mr. Chairman, the primary goal of the healthcare system are to promote and protect the health of individuals in the country and to improve healthcare access and quality, and to ensure equitable distribution of healthcare service and to mitigate health inequalities. Now, the role of nurses and midwives in the healthcare continuum cannot be underestimated. Nurses are the forefront of healthcare delivery, and most often the first and sometimes the only healthcare personnel that attend to patients. In 2006, Ghana was listed among the countries in the sub-Saharan Africa bedeviled with human resource for health crisis as far back as 2006. And so the country designed innovative strategies which led to an increase in the numbers of the health workforce from 1.07 per thousand population in 2005 to 292.65 per thousand population in 2017. And currently, estimates shows that there have been some consistent improvements in the numbers of nurses to the population ratio between 2017 and 2021. Interestingly, the National Program of Work of the Ghana Health Service or Ministry of Health in the holistic assessment report shows that the nurse to patient or the nurse to population ratio has increased from 44,167 in 2020 to 58,207 in 2021, representing 32% increment. However, in 2021, between the same period, the number of population attended to by nurse has decreased from 721 to 530 between 2020 and 2021. And then, as if that is not enough, Ghana, we do not have the recommended mix of auxiliary to professional nurses ratio. According to WHO, it's supposed to be 60-40, 60 professional nurses to 40 auxiliary, but we don't have that. Mr. Chairman, observational data across health facilities in the country shows that the immigration of nurses and midwives has become a disturbing trend in recent times. I'm reliably informed that about 136 nurses or nurses and midwives have permanently exited the central region, permanently. And then anecdotal data from the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital also show that in 2022, about 30 nurses have left the facility, and then already 16 are gone. Even in 2023, we are just about halfway through the year, and 16 have left. As a matter of fact, when we came and we were talking, I got to know that even in the Metro Hospital, about 25 nurses have left between last year to this year already. And so the problem is a serious one. A recent study to determine migration intentions of specialist nurses in the country shows that about 2 out of every 10 nurses have intentions to leave. It's even possible because this data was, this research was done in 2021. I don't think it will be the same today. So maybe this time around we may be going to 5 out of 10 having intentions to leave, meaning that we have a serious crisis on our hands. Ladies and gentlemen, the departure of skilled healthcare professionals from our country, particularly nurses and midwives, not only compromises the quality of care provided to our citizens, but also exacerbates the existing healthcare disparities and challenges we face as a country. In this keynote address, I will shed light on some of the causes, the consequences, and potential solutions to mitigate the threats of immigration among nurses and midwives. So let me mention some of the driving factors, the driving immigration, or the factors driving immigration. Our chairman has already mentioned some of them. But various factors contribute to immigration of nurses and midwives, including better employment opportunities, higher wages, improved working conditions, and professional development prospects. Economic factors. Nurses and midwives often migrate in search of better wages and benefits that are more competitive compared to what is offered in Ghana. I was talking to someone earlier this week, and the person told me that the person is in Accra, a nurse in Accra. He spends about 40% of his annual salary on rent advance. And he spends between 6 to 10% on transportation. He doesn't have his own means of transport. And so those who have their own cars and who have to fuel, that one will be a different thing. Transportation will be another issue. And so economic factors are one of the push factors or the pull factors. Working conditions and job satisfaction. Poor working conditions, including the high workload, long hours of working, lack of resources, and inadequate support. Interacting with some nurses in the region, I'm told that in some of our facilities, we do not have basic equipment and logistics, and sometimes surgeries will have to be postponed because of lack of oxygen and anesthetic agents and basic things. And so these are some of the factors that contribute to the decision to migrate in search of better working conditions. Insufficient resources, lack of essential resources such as medical equipment, logistics, infrastructure. I hear some of our wards patients will have to even come together and contribute to buying fans. And I think the problems are so much that it even affects job satisfaction among nurses, and is a major factor contributing to the decision to migrate. And then professional development, limited access to professional development opportunities, training and specializing options. And even though currently the professional, maybe CPDs are, a lot has been done, but still, some do not get the opportunity, or because of the long waiting list, because you have to wait for your turn. And so all those things are some of the factors. I can't mention all the factors, but I want us to look at, for this presentation, it's just for us to reflect on what can be done and what we can do together to mitigate the situation. And so I want to highlight some of the consequences. Mr. Chairman, some key points regarding the impact of nurses and midwives immigration on the health system include workforce shortage. When a significant number of nurses and midwives leave the country to work abroad, it can result in shortage of skilled health professionals. And this can strain the healthcare system, leading to increased workload for the remaining staff, and then compromising the quality and accessibility of healthcare services. You know, Ghana operates a multi-health system, starting from the tertiary level to the primary level. And then you have nurses stationed across all these various levels. And so if you have our nurses leaving, we will not have enough nurses at the various levels to manage patient care. And this problem can also lead to decrease in quality of care. So it can result in a decrease in the quality of care provided to patients. Nurses and midwives may have less time to spend with their patients or with each patient, compromising individualized care and the monitoring and education of patients. And so we would end up having tax-oriented nursing, where our focus will be just finishing tasks and will not be able to provide holistic care to our client. Because when I come on duty, all I want to do is to attend to, because the few that are there, finish my duty for the day, and I may not have time to interact with the patient to get the best for the clients. And then this can also result in medical legal issues, such as medical errors, such as falls of patients, and other, even hospital-acquired infections, because you may not have enough time to give out the best to our clientele, and can also result in adverse health outcomes, such as high mortality and morbidity among our patients. And then the problem of immigration can also result in a disruption in the continuity of healthcare. If you look at the healthcare continuum, we provide care, we hand over, and nurses, we operate a shift system. You hand over, and you are supposed to follow up on your patient. For our colleagues in the public health sector, or the public health nurses and the community health nurses, they do the follow-up. And so if nurses are leaving, it will disrupt the continuity of care. And so migration of nurses and midwives can disrupt the continuity of health services, especially in areas where nurses are already in short supply. Patients may face higher waiting times at the facility because of the few nurses that are in the facility, and then reduce access to specialized care, now that two out of our specialized nurses have the intentions to leave the country. And so this would result in a decrease in the overall quality of care to our patients. And then the problem of immigration can also result in increased workload and burnout for our nurses. The fewer nurses and midwives available would have to do, because their workload will increase significantly. And this increased workload can contribute to burnout and decreased job satisfaction and a potential impact on the patient's safety and outcomes. Our chairperson, the chairman of the region mentioned that earlier. And then it can also lead to loss of investment for the country, because Ghana as a country has invested significant resources in educating and training and developing the nursing and midwifery workforce. And so when these professionals migrate, it represents a great loss of investment, a great loss to the country, and as well as a loss in the expertise of the skilled nurses that will have to benefit the health service. And then also it would lead to disparities in healthcare, as I mentioned that. And then with just about 7 years to attain the Sustainable Development Goal, because we are in 2023 and we are supposed to achieve the SDG by the year 2030. So we have only 7 years, means that we cannot achieve them. So the target of ending preventable deaths among infants and children under 5 will not be met. And the one that is targeted at reducing maternal mortality to less than 70 per 100,000 live births can also not be met. Ladies and gentlemen, human resource for health is critical to the achievements of the Sustainable Development Goals, especially Goal 3 and universal health coverage. So addressing the immigration of nurses and midwives requires a comprehensive and multifaceted approach that tackles the root causes and provides sustainable solutions. And I want to highlight some of the key components of that approach, the multifaceted approach that we can adopt as stakeholders at all the various levels to address the problem. And so we can think about some retention strategies. So implementing policies and initiatives to improve job satisfaction, working conditions, career advancement opportunities, and remuneration of nurses can help retain the workforce. Education and training. Strengthening education and training programs for nurses and midwives within the country can increase the domestic supply of healthcare nurses and reduce the reliance on foreign trained, or reduce the urge to leave the country. Then we have international collaboration. Maybe the country can collaborate with some of these countries where our nurses are migrating to share, to see how best they can resolve the problem. So maybe policy and regulations can help developing and enforcing policies and regulations that address ethical recruitment. It's clear that we can't stop the immigration, but something can be done to reduce the devastating impact on the country. So nursing and midwifery associations such as GRNMA can develop guidelines of professional conduct. For instance, maybe collaborate with regulatory bodies like the Nursing and Midwifery Council to establish and enforce professional regulations and standards of practice to ensure high quality of standards, and then to facilitate the growth and reputation of nurses, so that nurses would have that kind of, will be proud of their profession. And then we can also look for evidence, research evidence, to determine, to get data on the reasons why, even though we know, but we should get research evidence on why nurses are leaving, so that we can use it to make a case for policymakers. And because data from the evidence can inform policies and interventions to address the menace. In conclusion, the threat of immigration among nurses and midwives in Ghana demands immediate action and a concerted effort. We must recognize that the retention and well-being of our healthcare, of our nurses and midwives are vital to ensuring quality healthcare for our citizens. By addressing the causes, understanding the roots, or understanding the consequences, and implementing effective solutions, we can mitigate the immigration of nurses and midwives, and to build a resilient healthcare system that meets the needs of our population. Let us stand together, united in our commitments to creating an environment where our nurses and midwives can thrive and serve their clientele with dedication and compassion. Thank you very much.
It is an absolute honor to stand before you today as the special guest at the regional launch of the International Nurses Week. This week is an opportunity for us to recognize and celebrate the incredible contributions of nurses and midwives to healthcare systems worldwide. Today, I would like to shed light on the crucial theme that impacts Ghana health system, the immigration of nurses and midwives, and the potential threats it poses. Dr. Che, nursing and midwifery are noble professions that require dedication, compassion, and unwavering commitment. Nurses and midwives are the backbone of our health system, providing vital care, expertise, and support to individuals, families, and communities. They are the frontline heroes who work tirelessly, often in challenging conditions, to ensure the well-being of patients. However, Ghana, like many other countries, has been experiencing a concerning trend, the immigration of nurses and midwives. Many talented and skilled healthcare professionals are leaving the country in search of better opportunities abroad. While we celebrate their successes and understand their aspirations for personal and professional growth, we must also acknowledge the potential threats of this immigration poses to our health system. Dr. Che, the immigration of nurses and midwives creates a significant gap in our health care workforce. It leads to shortages and strains the remaining healthcare professionals who are left to shoulder an increased workload. This in turn impacts the quality and accessibility of healthcare services provided to our fellow citizens. The consequences are far-reaching, affecting the delivery of care across the country, particularly in underserved areas where healthcare resources are already limited. Furthermore, the loss of skilled nurses and midwives disrupts the continuity and sustainability of our health system. It takes years of education, training, and experience to develop competent healthcare professionals. When our talented nurses and midwives leave, we not only lose their expertise, but also the potential for them to mentor and guide the next generation of caregivers. This vicious cycle perpetuates the scarcity of skilled healthcare professionals and hinders the growth and development of our healthcare system. Dr. Chairman, it will interest you to know that a total of staff attrition in Central Region stood at 97 in 2021 and 221 in 2022. 136 of the nurses and midwives in 2021 and 2022 have permanently exited the service. Also, staff who sought for leave without pay in 2022 on varied reasons, yet prominent among the reasons, though concealed, is for greener pastures, was 53. However, it's identified among the applicants that nurses and midwives form the majority. That is, out of the 53, 37 were nurses and midwives. To address this challenge, we need a multifaceted approach Firstly, we must prioritize the retention and motivation of our nurses and midwives. This involves providing competitive salaries, improving working conditions, and creating opportunities for professional growth and advancement within the country. I think for this, the keynote address highlighted on this one. We must ensure that our healthcare professionals feel valued, supported, and recognized for their dedication and contributions. Dr. Che, we must invest in the training and education of more nurses and midwives. By expanding our nursing and midwifery programs, we can increase the number of qualified professionals available to meet the healthcare needs of our population. This includes strengthening partnerships with educational institutions, providing scholarships and financial support, and offering mentorship and career development opportunities. Additionally, we must foster an environment that promotes job satisfaction, research, innovation, and the utilization of nurses and midwives' full potential. Recognizing their expertise and empowering them to take on leadership roles can also contribute to a more robust and resilient healthcare system. Finally, collaboration and partnerships are vital. We must work together with international organizations, governments, and other stakeholders to address the root causes of immigration and explore strategies for knowledge exchange and professional development while retaining our healthcare professionals within Ghana. Today, let us renew our commitment to supporting and valuing our nurses and midwives. Let us celebrate their dedication, applaud their sacrifices, and recognize the immense impact they have on the health and well-being of our nation. In conclusion, Dr. Che, the immigration of nurses and midwives poses a significant threat to Ghana's health system. However, by prioritizing their retention, investing in education and training, creating supportive environments, and fostering collaboration, we can mitigate this challenge and build a stronger healthcare system that meets the needs of our people. On this note, Dr. Che, I declare the International Nurses Week in Central Region duly launched. Thank you.
Supposed to speak or not, they will force me to speak. Yes, so I just want to add my voice to the immigration of nurses. You know, the fact is that we can't stop you from going. Because if you look at the economic situation, I was just telling someone that for the tier 2, I received a text message from those who are investing our money, that the money that they took in August 2022, in May, they are now investing it. So can you imagine that when we are going on, I just don't want to say it, but I have to say I'm left with some few months to retire. So when I am going home, it will mean that I have to wait for, like, if by August 2022 it's being invested, they have received it and investing it in May. How many months do I have to wait to be able to get my full tier 2? So September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, 9 months. And that 9 months is nothing to write home about. When we completed nursing, I trained in second D. We were 27. And all of them left and we were left with 9. My year group. The 9 that we were left with, 4 of us remained in Ghana Health Service. The rest were working at the private. They are better off. When I don't know how much I'm going to receive by way of pension, but the 25% how do you call it? What, the one you just mentioned, the market premium. We are not paying social security on that. So whatever we are getting for our daily upkeeps. But at the end of the day, when you are retiring, you retire home with peanuts. So if you have not been able to build a house and you retire, you will continue to stay in somebody's rented apartment. And this, and now too, the landlords are increasing their rent arbitrarily. And now they are, whether you are an old tenant, you are paying, you still have to pay advance, and they are taking 2 years. So it's like you get stressed when you are working. Please don't report me. When you are working and then you go home and then you are more stressed, so you die earlier. I am a manager, but I am saying that I can't stop anybody from traveling. But Phil, sit down. PY, see me for your query when you get back. So I won't stop anybody from traveling. But then all that I am saying is that let us follow the process. Let us do the right thing. The statistics included mine. People will go, they will take leave, and then that they are going. Yesterday, I received 2 letters from one ward. They have gone. And so they are now writing, they took leave and left. They will be resuming in July. So now the letters they are writing to me, yesterday was 13th June, but they have dated the letter 14th July. Meanwhile, you are not here. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So already the person has left. He has left. He's gone with his leave. It is annual leave, fine. He's left. But then because the leave would end in 14th July, he's writing the letter 14th July and sending it to me in June. You see, so it's serious. I mean, our president said, you can't stop anybody from going. It's the person's right, where they went to stay and where they want to work. You understand? So as I sat down and I was looking at the theme for the Nurses Week celebration, for Ghana, we said nurses make a difference. Anytime, anywhere, always. We make a difference wherever. Otherwise, why are people talking about us immigrating to other countries? Because we are important and we are needed everywhere we go. And anywhere and everywhere we go, we make a difference. You understand? So I want you to make a difference wherever you go. Let's go through the processes so that when you go, you will not go and work as a health carer, but you're going to work as a professional nurse so that you get the remuneration that is due you as a professional nurse. Is that okay? We are not stopping anybody from going, but let's go through the processes. If there is an exam you need to write that exam. Take your time, and let us be responsible parents. When we leave the system just like that, we'll go and leave our parents. We go and leave our brothers and sisters. And then you are leaving them behind so that when they also fall sick, somebody will take care of them. Is that not it? So why don't we do things in a way that somebody would take care of us? Somebody will not tell me, this guy that I'm talking about that is on leave and is gone. I've called him to my office. Kofi, are you having plans of going outside? Oh, no, director. I'm not ready yet. When I'm ready, I'll come and tell you. And so and so he told me by the letter that he sent to my office. You understand? Sometimes there is planning. There are things that we need to do. And then we look at you, we look at your capabilities, and we would want to assign certain roles to you. So just be honest with us that, oh, director, somebody told me that from the next 2 years, I'm sure that I will be around. But after that, I cannot guarantee. Then you know that you are planning. So it is good. It is affecting all of us. It is affecting us for this year. Last year, the people that asked for leave without pay were like the 30 that they were talking about. But resignations were like 40. People resign. Where are they going? So for me, last year, I lost more than 70 nurses and midwives. And they are going, you understand? Because somebody says, I'm resigning to go where? Resigning to go where? Somebody will tell you, oh, I've gotten a better employment in Ghana here. I'm not going at Obwa. Somebody they came to my office that I give him an attestation that he's going to work. And I said, where are you going to? I say, Accra. Then I look at the address, and it's UK consular and something. Me, don't I know? So just be honest. But then what I am also trying to say is that people are in college, but you can't guarantee their return to the facility. I've lost about 2 of my critical care nurses who went to the college. They have left. You see, so the issue is serious. And now it is those with specializations that they are poaching and they are taking away. But we can't take it away from them. I wish there's somebody here that I can talk to. We need to look at accommodation for the staff. We need to look at it. Because people are coming to work first. They are coming to work for you, and then they have to go and pay 2 years advance. Meanwhile, it will take them some time for them to be paid. Who takes care of that? You understand what I'm saying? So when the issues like that was outlined by the guest speaker is not looked at, Ghana is going to be affected. You remember the time of Agege? You remember how many of you do remember? You remember Agege? They went. Then UKK, my mate, about 36 years ago, they also left, and they are coming. Some of them are coming back. You understand? By retired, they have done served their due. So all of us here, I know we will go. When you go, you will leave your family and then you come back for them later, isn't it? So let us live in a way that when you have gone and you call your brother that, oh, my wife is coming with it, can you help? Then somebody will be there to help. Let us be open about it. And then let us remember, ICN said for the theme for this year, Nurses Week, they said, our nurses, our future. Maybe Ghana, we are refusing to acknowledge the fact that our nurses are our future. Because if you don't have health, you can't have wealth. Did you understand me? If you don't have health, you don't have wealth. Because you have to be strong, you have to be healthy to be able to work and get all that you need to get. Let us remember this. And if somebody can tell the chairman, you are here. I know our Yasantua can advocate. They should look at that, the situation of nurses, support us, and we will stay. But immigrate, but do it the right way. When you resign and you are to be reinstated, it's better. But when you just go and it is vacation of post, nobody would want to work with somebody who can get up today and leave without telling you anything, and then when they come back, you would want to work with them. No, it doesn't work. So that is why I'm insisting on let us do the right thing. You knew you would be going. At least if you are in Ghana Health Service, the letter, when it gets to the region, would have to go to Accra for you to get the response and back before you can go. So it will take you about 3 months. So if you have that thing in mind, just write in the 3 months, write for leave without pay and go. Even if it does happen that you ask for 3 months leave without pay and you don't go, it's easy to reverse. But when you don't do it, you get to the airport and send your colleague to bring the letter that you want leave without pay. Effective the following day, know that it will be treated as vacation of post. And when you want to, so this guy has come back. He's come back and he wants to work with us for some 2 years before to get things right and then go. You understand? So let us do the right things so that when we go, we'll get the right opportunities to work.
The national program, it was held at Salt Pond, where Yasantua was there because she is more or less the national patron for Jemta. And I had to address the people. So one of my worry was that I'm signing the clearance form too much. And I was scared that what is going on? Now, COVID so it's not like we are also not affected. Everybody is affected. And so I expressed my worry. And there was a national person. So he said, oh, Principal, cool down. You see, there is nothing we can do as far as they are going out is concerned. The reason is that there is nothing we can use to pin them. There is nothing. And once he said that, I kept my cool. You bring your clearance form today at 12 p.m. The next 5 minutes, only if you have done all that you are supposed to do and you have gone to pay, I'll sign for you to go. I'll sign for you to go. Just in 2009, I was sitting somewhere, and then I was called that, oh, this nurse the high purchase vehicles, they are available. So I should go for it. And I said, no, I don't want to go for it. Then a list came from Accra. My name was in there. I was not even ready. At that time, because my name was there, my principal said, go for it. And so I went for it. Then it's Anthony. And then I have been paying small. That alone is keeping me in Ghana. It's keeping me. Because I'm owing Ghana. I cannot go. GRNME, in all of this, you also have a greater role to play. It is not enough, with all due respect, Mr. Chairman, to stand here to say Chobe. It is not enough. We must act. I recall that Sister Chawe's time, they had to secure plots for us. And even if it is on high pitches, once I have come to take it, I cannot go anywhere because you not endorse for me. Is that not it, Mr. Chairman? I recall that about a month ago, he was at the national headquarters. He was doing his work. And then he quickly called me, Principal, can I please check this? And that's one of your staff, that. And so, that. Then I said, wow, we are keeping it. Yes, I know that you are giving out loans. And for that reason, if you are going and you are owing us, you think we should allow you to go, Master? People have paid, and so you must also pay for the loan so we can make some inroads. All that we are saying is that we also have a role to play.
How do we get practical solutions to this threat? I remember during Kufuor's regime, we had similar situation occurring, but it was resolved. When there was introduction of car waiver, we don't need much. We don't need much. Just some few tokens, it will stem everything, calm the situation down. So what are we doing as stakeholders? Here once again, GRNMA. I will direct my, I wouldn't say bullets, but my issues towards you. The leadership, both at the regional and the national level, I will recommend that, yes, we can have fora at the various regional levels, etc. But we must move beyond that. There must be an urgent convergence of meeting where all the major stakeholders in nursing can be brought on board to discuss this important issue and work a way out through to meet the policymakers, the Minister of Health, the Director General, Ghana Health Service. But this is the situation. So many alarming statistics have been given. What are we doing? Should we sit unconcerned and allow the situation to go to bring the health system onto its knees? It's a serious issue, very serious. Our skilled manpower in nursing are leaving. In fact, my deputy, Mr. Achiampo Mbuati, he has traveled on holidays in UK. I only pray that he comes back, because I'm sure the wife will influence him. The wife has already gone with the kids. And one serious thing I got alarmed about was that the night he was taking off, I'm quoting him, I saw so many of our past students as if the flight we were going to board was a chartered flight for Dunkwao. They are all leaving. In a day, I'm able to sign 60 transcripts. And it's their right. You can't refuse to sign. So the situation is so alarming. And I believe if GRMA, cohesive leadership, and all who matter in nursing, NMC, bring everybody on board. Schedule a serious meeting with the policymakers and address this. If it is possible, they should bring back car maintenance allowance and other petty things that can help people to stay. We really need practical solutions to this problem. There are some of the issues, they are theoretical, but we want practical solution. And I bet you, if something small is done, you see the downward trend. Emigration of nurses was rampant in Kufuor, but it came to halt eventually. So let's do something about this before things get out of hand. And we shouldn't forget that we may be going to seek for greener pastures, but we have left our relations here. I even go to an extent of saying that I've never favored the objective test that is handled by the NMC, because it is reducing quality in our nurses. If you go and write theory, 4 questions, you come out, you realize that something has come out of you. Objective, there are 3 options. And if you can punch where the longest sentence is the answer, you go and check. So in addition to this, they are steadily bringing down nursing standards. You even ask the nurse to explain certain things, he's not able to express him or herself because they don't sit down and learn. Coupled with all these challenges, it is making matters worse. And I also want to state that at our individual facilities, I will channel this through Chief Nursing Officer to the Regional Director. You see, we don't need to always get things from the top. Now, we can do a little from our corner, brighten the corner where you are. I believe that if the Regional Health Directorate writes a letter, study the situation and write letters, encourage facility management to adapt innovative ways to reduce the already tension at the facility level, it will go a long way to help. Tokens of motivation, granting of rent advance. I do it at my level. To be paid within 1 year. You can easily do that, put it in management minutes, and it is enforceable. I'm sorry to say, some of our ward in charges and managers are too rigid on staff. I fully support the intimidation my brother talked about. So already there is work overload. You go to work, they are on your neck. You can't even breathe. So when somebody calls, the person will go. So let's soften our stance a bit. Let me give you a classical example. A nurse whose child had cancer and was undergoing treatment. What kind of strength concentration can she have to attend to work? And there was nobody there to leave the child with. And then nurse manager insisted that she comes to work. She dragged the issue till it got to the highest person, and when the issue came to his face, he said, and till date, she has not even resumed work. At the end of the year, let's be a bit, attach human face. There was a staff of mine who had a problem, cervical incompetence during pregnancy. We made her pass through the due processes and allowed her to stay for the full year to have a baby. Now, she sent a message that she has delivered. So sometimes, the way and manner we treat the staff also contributes to some of these things. Transport. From Fanochi, I don't know if it is happening now. They used to have Kufuor buses, advantage points that carried nurses to work and back. All these things are tokens that can help to motivate nurses to work. There are a lot that can be done. But I want to emphasize on the urgent meeting again. It is a necessity. The earlier we acted, the better it will be for us. Various speakers have spoken, giving the rare points or issues on the ground. I want to encourage all of us that we shouldn't lose hope. Let us go back and reflect on the issues and take some of the suggestions that have been given from diverse angles and act now. And I believe at the end of the day, we shall see light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you all for supporting me to steer this program to a successful end. God bless us all.